Hi, I'm Daniel Irish from USA Carp Guide. Do you want to turn a good fishing trip into a great one? Introducing baiting mixes, the smartest way to plan your feed strategy. Browse ready-to-made mixes crafted by expert anglers, or build your own from scratch. Choose ingredients, set quantities, log your results. With real data from your sessions, you'll know exactly what bait to use and when. Smarter prep, bigger catches, fewer blanks. Download the Go Catch Fish app, available in the App Store and Google Play Store today.
And the tide's got 4 or 5 seconds and we're out of time. It only takes 4 or 5 seconds when we're bound to float. It's sinking or swimming, thinking of you in the afterglow. And the tide's got 4.
Tiger nut. I am going to use a little bit of pack, nothing crazy, just oats and corn. That's it, just oats and corn. Both traps are set. Go ahead and set the camera up on the rod pod there, and hopefully if we start getting some takes, then I can get a nice screen take on camera. So hang there with me, it is beautiful there. fish on. We are on. Well, I don't know if you guys captured most of that fight, but we have a fish in the net, so here he is. Just a nice little common. Not very much size to him, only about a 7-pounder, but still a great fish to break a blank. Well, as you've seen, it's an absolute beautiful day out here today. Blessed to be able to be out here. I was a whole lot of money. This little common decided to take my Hi, I'm Daniel Irish from U.S.A. Carp Guide. Do you want to turn a good fishing trip into a great one? Introducing baiting mixes, the smartest way to plan your feed strategy. Browse ready-to-made mixes crafted
I think
by
I'm talking over the ad.
Or
Oh, when you drag me. Yep. There we go. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? As you can see in the chat, Kenny Mac did hit a little bit of traffic running a little late, so he's going to be joining us shortly. We do have a great guest, Brian and Susan Rand, today. I'm very excited. They stepped up very, very short-term notice. With everything going on, I forgot to schedule a guest. And then Kenny Mac calls me and he says, "Hey, who we having on the podcast?" And I was like, oh no, I forgot to schedule a guest. So we reached out to Brian and Susan, and they said we'll step up to the plate and we're gonna hit a home run with this one. So I'm looking forward to this show. Should be a whole lot of fun. Let me pull the YouTube chat up on my phone here. All right. This weekend, guys, we've been talking about it a lot, but it is finally the New England Fishing Expo. And we have Carp Row, guys. We have Carp Row. January 30th through February 1st. Friday, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sunday to close it out, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay. So get there anytime. If you're an early bird, you can get there at 10. If you're somebody that wakes up in the afternoon, rolling out of bed at 1, don't worry, we still got time for you. Come over, really check out Carp Row. We got a whole lot of cool people. We got USA Carp Guide, Bottom Feeder Baits, West Coast Bait Boats. Catch is going to have a little bit of a thing, I think, in one of the booths, so be on the lookout for Catch. Aside from us, we got Connecticut Custom Tackle. We got Carpy Commando that's going to be there. I'm excited to talk to all those guys. Who else do we got? We got CAG. CAG's going to be there. We got Ben's Tackle Shack. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be there. I'm not sure if Ben's is gonna be in the Carp Row side. I do know that Dave Outdoorsman and everybody over there at Ben's Tackle Shack, they are the reason that we got in here. Um, very, very thank you to them. He's saying New England Carp Angling Adventures. All right, so yeah, New England Carp Angling Adventures. Um, Adults, $15 online, 20 at the door. Senior and military first responders, you get a discount, $15 at the door. Children 12 and under are free. So, if you got those kiddos, go ahead, bring them along. Maybe try to get them into fishing. We always need to get more kids into fishing and protect that resource. That's really, really going to be the future. And to make sure that we can fish, when we're 60, 70 years old, make sure those kids are taking care of everything. So go ahead, come on out. And even if if you're somebody that's like, I'm not really sure about carp fishing, I'm not uh, I don't really want to catch this thing, but I'm a little interested, then come on out, check it out. There's all kinds of people to talk to. If you think, man, I don't want to talk to that Daniel Irish guy, he's so annoying. Don't worry. I'm not going to be the only one there. There's going to be all kinds of people there. So there's definitely going to be somebody at this expo that can fit and fit your vibe. Carp Slayer Flavors. Yeah, Carp Slayer Flavors is going to be there. So that's gonna be very, very cool. Like I said, Catch, not sure if Catch is going to have give me 1 second. It's me, 1 second, got a phone call. When he pulls you
This guy showed how the lures worked. And then there was a cool pull with trout.
All right, all right, all right. Sorry for that mute, 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 mute. That was not on your guys' side. That was on my side. I was talking to the one, the only Kitty Mac. He just what I heard is he drove his car straight through the front of the house, kicked the windshield out, uh, did a judo backflip over the kitchen table, and is now sitting at his computer, and he should be ready to be pulled any second. There he is. There he is. So he might be dusting the glass and stuff off of him right now. Like I said, he just kicked the windshield out and uh did a triple corkscrew over the kitchen table. Now he's sitting at his laptop getting it all set up. Hmm.
Okay.
All right, I hear Kenny Mac.
Hello?
Hello, sir.
Wasabi.
Yeah, it says Dave saying, Carpy Commando, bottom feeder baits. Yeah, it's gonna be a party, honestly. It's gonna be real fun. I'm excited to, show these people what carp fishing is like. I plan on having a little bit of equipment there with me. Whatever I could fit in my little tote that I'm allowed to bring. So I'm excited to show people that don't know what carp fishing, some of the odds and ends, and mainly I want to show people some of the fun things that got me interested in it. If there's any people out there if there are any people out there like me, um, that are fascinated with the alarms and the receiver and the rod pod and the long style 10-foot, 9-foot rods and the handles and everything, then I want to show them that, and I want to show them that the option to fish is out there. Not a lot of people are fishing like this. Not a lot of people are around, wild water carp fishing. But Paul just stopped me dead in my tracks because Kenny said you just needed a friend. That's insane. Because that's crazy because he scooped up a duck just, out of the water and then gave him a whole personality, and now he's like his best friend. So it's kind of ironic that I need a friend as I have two ducks chilling over here.
We just needed family at this point. I think we had to make our own.
All right, he's out of here. He left. He laughed. He liked the story, and he's gone. James, what is going on? How are you doing tonight?
It might be one of those things we just have to pop down to their chat again until I get this figured out.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I can do that.
You go. Yep. Go ahead.
No worries.
Go.
We're gonna do it this way, guys.
Here we are.
You're the boss, bro. Whatever you say, I'll do.
There we go. Just like that, we're good to go.
I can't see you, Austin. You got that on purpose?
Oh yeah, I'd break the stream. No, there's.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. So that kind of ends the New England Fishing Expo talk. Once again, January 30th, 31st, February 1st. That is this weekend. 181 Boston Post Road, West Marlboro, Massachusetts. Guys, come on. Come hang out. Like I said, even if you're like, hey, money's tight in this economy, I can't really afford to buy anything. I already spent all my money. That's okay. If you can get in, just come hang out. Let me know what's going on. If you just want to hang out at our booth and talk for a while, come on out. We're, accepting all carpers. We need the community for this, that's what it's all about, getting people out there fishing. So
Amen.
thank you for even allowing us to be in Carp Bro. But let's get on to the actual show now that I don't have to blabber anymore. How are you doing, Kitty Mac?
I am blessed by the best. Thank you for asking, Daniel. How are you, brother?
I'm doing all right. I'm pretty excited, for this weekend, as we were telling everybody. But let's not talk about me. Let's talk about our guest. How are you guys doing this evening, Brian and Susan Rand? For those of you that don't know.
You can just call her Stu. Doing excellent, guys.
All right.
Hi, Brian. Hi, Sue.
Hello.
So let's get this thing started. Let's start with tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us how you guys met. Let's start with your names. Let everybody know what your names are, and then tell us how you met. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to go that far back.
That's good news.
Yeah, been a while.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Why don't you tell them? Because you're pretty good at it. Just tell them how we met.
In a school bus.
Okay.
He
What?
turned around and looked at me, and I looked up at him, and that's when the were flying.
So just ever since then, you just, as soon as you saw each other, was it I got to go talk to him, or who made the first move?
I did. Kinda.
Really? So what was it like immediately, or were you trying to give him hints and then he wasn't getting it, so you're like, okay, this guy, he's not getting it, I got to do something?
Huh. No, it was slow and steady. Wins the race.
Yeah.
We met in high school. We've been together ever since.
Man, that's awesome.
1989.
Wow.
Do they still even have that number available?
Yes. Been a long road.
So you say on the school bus, is this like, are we in high school at this point?
Yep.
high school, and I ended up moving up his way from Lawrence, Mass. And with the new location, we ended up sharing the same bus on the
Nice.
same road. So off the same major road. So we were on the similar bus route.
Yep.
So it's destiny at that point.
It is. We are
So-
convinced it is, because I mean, what's the chances?
Yeah. How hard was it to keep him under control, Sue?
I had to get the frying pan out a couple of times.
You know this to be true.
You're laughing, but I really did.
Don't tell
Yeah,
Molly.
that was a wild one.
Yeah, things like frying pans and aggression and violence, let's keep that to ourselves, Sue. We all have wives, you know what I mean? And we don't want to give them any ideas.
Yeah, she watches these shows that out with a notebook, and listens to everything, that you guys are saying so that she could implement it on me later.
I swear. Yeah, we
So,
gotta be real.
so was he carp fishing or fishing at all when you first met?
We bass fished.
Okay. Okay. So you said so you went out with him, and is that a hobby that you picked up with him, or did you already like to fish?
You don't see my taxidermy fish? Okay. Not to brag or anything.
So we
Yeah.
did a lot of bass fishing together. We made some trips to Lake Ontario, king salmon fishing charters, bunch of
Okay.
different stuff. But there's a lot of good bass fishing in this area, particularly. And there's a local pond down the street. And I had told her personally, for her, you know what I mean, that I always had to be like, if I was ever going to get anything taxidermied, I'd want it to be like 8 or 9 pounds probably, or something like that. But I told her if she got one over 6 that I'd have it mounted, and that's 6.5 pounds.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Good job,
What
Sue.
What happens when they challenge me?
Amen.
So
Let's talk about challenges, Sue. How challenging is it to deal with this man's carp fishing ventures and his bait making ventures? Let's talk about that.
He's like the mad scientist. He goes down in the cellar, and all I hear is different things clankering, and I know he's down there mixing, and then he comes up like a schoolboy. Come smell this. Come smell this.
Kenny's waiting for that one.
Oh,
no
Uh,
explosions down there, right?
what's that?
No explosions down there, right?
No.
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 Okay.
It's funny you say that, Sue, because Daniel and I talk about this a lot. I'm done smelling stuff. I'm just done. I've been around it so long, and every person I know that carp fishes walks up to me, opens their canister, smell this, And so, but I get it. I do. I'm not knocking it, but after a while, I don't know. I don't know what's best. I don't know. To me, they'll eat what we feed them, right? But it does something to a man when he can conjure up a concoction and be successful with it. It just hits different.
Mhm.
And I know Brian has had some success, and I can see the passion just in his voice when we're on the phone. I can hear that passion. Tell us a little bit about the tribulations of this process. What aggravates you, and what do you appreciate?
Well, when you have squid put up to your nose and you say I'm good, and it's still being pushed on to me, I that's a find annoying.
That's fair.
Especially when the scent is too strong, and it's just nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you when you're right, Sue. Daniel does that to me, love, and he won't stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Not
So
gonna
I'm
start.
kind of trying to be careful. Like if I'm getting near the end when I'm going to put some flavor in it or whatever, I'll try and go outside and mix it, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
No, I get it. I do. I understand it. It's our better halves that struggle with it, you know. Uh, in our case, Daniel. Uh, but Kerry was the same way when he's on the boat, which I look for the return here in 26. But
Yeah.
when Kerry was on the boat, and in fact, that's not even fair to say because we did it to each other. Every time we got something new, hey, smell this, you know, and then we'd shove it up each other's nose. Oh my God, that's it, that's it, that's it. And, you know, would we catch on it? I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
You know, maybe we did okay, maybe we did well, but it doesn't ever seem like we go back to that and say, okay, this is the one that caught that. This is the one that caught that, which led me to believe with the common sense I have, because I'm not a smart man, but I do have common sense. That no matter what we put in the water, as long as we prepped it properly and we were in the right location at the right time, it never really mattered what we used. Now, I will say that in the spring, I like to be a little more stinky. I'll listen to Daniel a little more in the spring. I'll gravitate towards Daniel a little bit more in the spring with all his, you know, monster crab and that stuff. It does seem to, because they're on the feed hard, right? You know, come spring and they're looking for that protein. But then to me, it switches in the fall. And in the fall, they're looking more towards carbohydrates and things of that nature. The fruity smells and natural sugars is what they're at. To me, that's my only differential between the baits, whether they're sweet or stinky like Daniel Irish.
What's you brought up squid. That seemed to be you had it immediately. You didn't have to think about what smells bad at all. You were like, yeah, this one smells bad and it's squid. What's the opposite of that? What's if you have one, what's a smell that you're like, okay, that bait
It's
smells
got
all right.
a bubble gum flavor.
Okay. Yeah. I like the bubble gum sometimes. I've used a cotton candy as well, and it has that nice, sugary smell where it doesn't smell too bad. That's actually one of the ones that Molly also doesn't mind. So maybe we gotta figure something out. We gotta figure a candy line or something so that we can keep making bait in the house. Uh, you know, do you make any of your particle or anything like that inside the house as well? Because I make mine on the kitchen stove, unfortunately, and Molly wants to run me out of the house every time I do it. Is it kind of the same scenario over there?
No,
no, I stopped. I got a cooker downstairs. I do it downstairs.
Nice. Yeah, I need to do that because
Yep.
yeah, we get World War III pretty much every other week during the spring. Every time I want to boil up some corn.
Well, because you get going doing something else, and the next thing you know, you turn your head and it's boiling over, and you're not going to stop cooking corn. So now you got a big mess to clean up.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of making
And it's
baits,
105
guys,
degrees.
That's
somebody
never happened to
brought
me.
this up to my attention, and they said this is how we feel when we go to like the candle stores, and they're shoving it in our face. So,
Yep.
hey, smell this, smell this, smell this. I think that's a great analogy. I just went ahead and pulled that comment up on the screen. Carp.
I think we
New
have a new
England.
phrase for a T-shirt. Smell this.
Smell this. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a great t-shirt. Unfortunately for Molly, I am both those people. If we go through a candle aisle, I'm picking up like 6 candles and I'm going, "Ooh, what do you think about this one? What do you think about this one? What do you think about this one?" No, you can't get away from me. I'm making you smell the things that I want you to smell.
Hey, man. And so, Sue, with all this carp talk, what is your PB? I wonder.
Oh God, I forgot.
It's 34-14.
Imagine
Woo!
him knowing it right off the bat. Those type of numbers we don't forget, do we, Brian? They are embedded in our head. And was that a common?
Yeah.
Nice. And then
So
what's your Brian?
that was just a couple of years ago. I baited this spot for like probably a week and a half, and went in to fish it, and I threw out. Sometimes I do it. I threw out the 4 rods because you're only allowed 2 in mass per person. So I threw out 4 different rods, 4 different baits, colors, the whole nine, and all 4 went off at the exact same time.
Wow.
The whole school was right in front of us, and
Yeah.
Is her
she's
PhD the
freaking
one
out
with the
because she's only
picture
got
of
a
the
6-foot
leaf on it?
rod, and the fish are just taking her off, and I'm trying to play the other ones. I got one in this. I'm using the flings and everything I can just to keep the fish going. And then I use the net on hers because I know it's a good one. And I just left hers in the
Uh-huh.
net on the piece of cement there for a while. So, just because I knew it was a good
Yeah.
size one.
Yeah.
And then I took care of all the business. And I'm like, you realize that that's the biggest fish you've ever caught right there. And she had just had knee surgery. She couldn't even kneel down and hold the fish. She had to sit in the chair, and she had the
Yeah.
skin all over her and everything. But yeah, it was quite the moment. But then she understood too after that session about having like 10, 12-foot rods because
Sure.
he
Sure.
was he was
Yeah.
struggling trying to do anything with that fish, and that's why I explained to her that's pretty much all I use is 12-foot rods.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It makes
how
a huge difference. It does.
how how far into, your carping career was this? How long have you been chasing carp, that you get 4 rods that shoot off at once?
Her or me?
Well, both, did you guys not start kinda at the same time?
No, I
No?
started. I was talking to you earlier, and I happened to look it up on my phone.
Mhm.
The dates on my phone, and it was September of 2020 is when I started at Weathersfield Cove.
Okay,
Connecticut.
that's interesting. So you tell me the story about that. How, how did you first get into, carp fishing? And then how did you convince Sue to come along with you?
So I had been looking on YouTube and stuff. I wasn't really into Facebook at that time, and I had heard about carp fishing, and I had seen some posts and stuff like that, people catching some really big fish, and it kind of intrigued me. And I said, you know what? I said, Lowell and Lawrence, they're in the Merrimack, and there's a lot of guys catching some big fish right near. It's about 20 minutes from my house, so give or take. And I'd always wanted to do it, but I just never really did. And then up the street, um, I was over my son's godparents' house, and the next door neighbor happens to be a gentleman by the name of Brian Wisanowski. He actually had been carp fishing at the time for a while, and
Okay.
offered to take me on in September of 2020. And we went to Weathersfield Cove, and he had all the gear and everything. I got, just a license. I didn't buy nothing. And he said, you can use my stuff. I'll set you all up. And if we catch any fish, I'll let you reel them in. We want to go there. Another person came with us, Levi Flood, and their goal was to get a fantail. And um, we were catching some fish. There was a lot of weeds moving in and out because that is tidal over there. And that's the first time I'd ever seen freshwater being affected, from tidal like that. And I learned a lot that weekend. It was tough fishing, waders, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. We had caught some nice fish, and we were trying to get some shut eye, and one of the rods started screaming off. And Brian said, "Oh, you can go get it," and it ended up being the fantail, and I ended up catching it. So it was pretty neat. But Brian had been making bait there at the time, and I was intrigued by that too. I
Mm.
wanted to start figuring that out. Um, but yeah, that was my introduction, and then I had been going a lot. I met some other people and on Facebook and started my new journey, and ended up at the Oxbow with this guy named John and the crew and Lance Corbett, and there was another guy that invited me up to Holyoke Chris Pelletier, God rest his soul, he's not with us any longer. And then, you know, if you've heard Fred talk about a guy named Joey Shattuck in Lowell. I fished with him quite a bit, and these guys all helped me along the way. And you know, it took off from there. I was going away a lot because I was really getting into it. And
Yeah.
I just said, "You want to go?" And she said, "No, no." And then I did some local fishing, and she started getting into it. And then when got the big fish there, that was it. She was hooked.
So you said once she got the big fish, she was hooked. So was that one of the first fish that she caught?
Yeah, we caught some nice ones before that. You know what I mean? Some mid-20s and a lot of smaller fish, and you know, mid-sized fish. But yeah, that was one of the big ones.
Okay, so Sue, as you're a bass angler, and then he's, going like he's saying, he's going all across the place for carp, and he's spending a lot of time for carp, and you're like, what do you do? What are you doing? Uh what was it like, as he's starting to bring home, gear like alarms and this big old net and a rod pod, and what do you need this keep sack for? What were you thinking?
I married a fanatic. I was
So
intrigued because I've never seen all that stuff before.
Mhm.
So I'm like, how big are these? You know, when he showed
Yeah.
me the cradle and uh, so yeah, it caught my attention. I won the women's division this year at Lady Ginger, so I'm psyched.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And
Yeah.
I actually, these are the shirts. I actually flipped it around because there's more on the back. But big shout out to Kevin Murphy and Katie Pelkey and the whole gang up at the East Hampton Rod and Gun Club.
They really are special people, Brian. They really are special.
Carp and Catfish Derby in the May Memorial Day weekend. It's Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. all the way to Monday at like 10 a.m. And then after that, they have a big pig roast. And it's just, I've been twice last year, and the year before she had some issues, so we didn't go that year, but we went in 23 and last year. And it's been like
Cool.
the two best times of my life ever fishing. You know, there's like Kenny was saying, Kenny's been up there. There's a lot of great people up there. It's
Mhm.
getting bigger and bigger every year. There's bands, tons of food. You know, it's all family and friends and having a good time. You know what I mean? It's a little competition there, but uh, I
Yeah.
actually had worked on my bait all last winter before that, and that's when I really got to, because my big thing is solubles. I worked really hard on trying to, make hook baits and solubles and then paste, and I finally
Mhm.
got it all figured out, and I ended up getting a 40-pound 8-ounce mirror. The second place.
Oh.
It was the same fish that Tomas Kiss won first place with. I caught it the next day. He got it at 42 pounds, 3 ounces, and I got it at 40.8 the next day. So you can see some people you hear at these derbies or tournaments talking about that these fish don't lose a lot of weight. They do.
Yeah.
And longer, when you're fishing a tournament like that or a derby, depending on how many people and how far they are and how they get to get into the woods and how they get to, do things, you can end up waiting for a little while with these fish. But these guys, they all do their best up there. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. You know what I mean? But um, there's only so many weigh marshals for the area that we are, and then Kevin's
Right.
talking about going to institute more of an fishing area up there this year, and then have more weigh marshals. But it was just, it doesn't matter to me who catches the fish. You know, it was me, RJ, and my wife Susan on the boat, and
Mhm.
it wouldn't have mattered. Doesn't matter who catches it, but it happened to be me this year.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
missed.
I'm sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, David. Please go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, we kinda, share that sentiment on the boat, that it doesn't really matter who catches the fish, especially if it's one that we're after, if that makes sense, if it's one that we've really, really put a lot of effort
Yeah,
into, we
yeah,
are on a team at that point. It is us
they
versus
did.
the fish, and as soon as we get it, we
Sorry,
have won.
DJ.
Yeah. Now, if I'm being honest about this subject, I had to mature into that. Um, I don't think I'm just gonna say, I know I wasn't that way for most of my carping career. I wasn't. It was because it was, Carrie and I didn't do the internet thing. We went fishing, and we knew there was other carpers out there, but we didn't have this score sheet, or we really didn't view it that way. It was all about me, 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 me. Now, don't get me wrong. If he would catch, great. If I would catch, great, and vice versa. But as far as handing someone the power to catch your fish, I literally had to mature into that thought process. Now it's second nature. Now, I very much appreciate it. Like, if I always catch bigger fish than Daniel. Always, always. But the last session that we were out, I caught the bigger fish, and he caught this mirror. And I just got to tell you, his mirror was so beautiful that in my mind, it had more value than my fish did. The look had more value than my weight. And I was so proud and happy for him. And I think I evolved into that. I think I had to mature into that. And I think partly it had to do with me getting my belly full, because I'm hungry, right? I'm hungry for that PB. I'm hungry for those captures. I'm hungry for my catch rate to be at its optimal rate, And once we got our belly full, it switched to that. It switched to what Daniel's saying. It's a team effort. I really, truly, and honestly can say I don't care who catches the fish. I really don't. And as Daniel said, especially if it's a target, especially if it's that one we're after. And I truly don't care who catches it. And so I think that we need to spread that. I think that needs to be more involved in our community than what it is now currently. We've got some real players out there that are pulling for that. But the spot burning thing is a problem. I baited that up is a problem. But if we come together, I know that we'll be more successful, and it has been proven in my camp. It has been proven in our experience with what we have done. So I very much appreciate the fact that I don't care who catches the fish anymore. In fact, I'm more apt to hand it over than I am to pull it in.
So when I started making bait, that the joy that I get from seeing people catch on my stuff and telling me, "Hey, I got a PB," this
Yeah.
and that. And then for the way that things happened this year for me, fishing, I don't know what happened after the May and June for you guys, but it was pretty tough around here. I don't know if it was I'm starting to really get into the barometric pressure stuff and following that. I mean,
It
we're,
matters.
we're all busy guys. We don't have all the time to fish every single weekend, and so it was tough. But to have other people catching on my stuff and telling me that it works, and being happy, and I don't have to. I was going to go to I'm going to the thing next weekend to be with RJ and the Connecticut Custom Tackle team on Saturday, but we were talking about I was gonna start selling my stuff, and I'm not gonna do that. I don't have the time for it, and personally, that I don't see a lot of money in it. Just what I spend and the time it takes me to make stuff and make quality stuff. A few people that I have, and that's good enough for me. And I might carry some extra things at paste, if somebody wants to buy a couple, but I'm not going to get into selling it. I just don't have the time for it.
You're a smart man, Brian. The first response I want to have for that is I do want to mention Connecticut Custom Tackle again. I want to plug them as much as I can. RJ's a special human being. I've grown fond of him. I finally got to meet him a few months ago, and we had a great conversation. But what you're saying hits different. It's the same, but it's different. Those feel goods from someone catching on your bait is remarkable. It really is. And you don't see it coming until it's there,
Yeah.
until you feel that. So I very much appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah.
Daniel, say something before I drowned.
What is,
Uh,
I want to know, you guys have been out on these sessions with each other a couple times. I want to know, what is the worst session that you guys have been on? Sue, what is the one session that you were like, I'm done. I'm not even helping you pack up. I'm going to sit in the car. You can meet me in the car and then you better drive me home.
It's too cold. It's too wet. I'm not doing this no more. What was that hell session? Was there one?
Northfield. We went to Merce, private thing, and it was raining all weekend. And you just had to need off your knee surgery. And you stayed in the Pivy all weekend. Remember, it was downpouring.
She blocked it out of her memory. It was so dramatic.
That was brutal. Yeah, it rained all weekend, and I think between my back and my surgical knee, I was done. It's just,
Yeah.
when you're in your body aches and pains, and
Yes, ma'am.
just coming out of having a total knee replacement, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. And then to be stuck in a bivvy 24/7, because you don't want to go out there and get soaking wet and just,
Right.
but they were super nice, and I was grateful for the invite. Um, so yeah, that would be one of them.
That's one of Kevin's spots. That's where he does he invites people there, and you got to log your stuff into the camping area, and it's right on the edge of the river. And
Okay.
that was the first time I got to use my Titan Pro Bivy, and let me tell you something, that thing didn't disappoint. Putting that,
Yeah.
like you guys, I think it was you guys were talking about putting bivvies together. It's a nightmare sometimes.
Nightmare, bro.
It really is.
But when that thing was up, we didn't get a drop of rain in that thing at all the whole weekend.
No, they are awesome once you get them built. And I gotta call timeout for just a second, because I got a couple of friends that were supposed to come over and build a bivvy for me this week, and they didn't show up. And one of them starts with an Austin, and the other one starts with a Daniel. And now there's 4 foot of snow on my deck, so I can't get my bivvy set up. But man, we play, all 3 of us. And I like to think we're kind of smart. I do. I like to think we're kind of smart. All 3 of us struggle with bivvies, bro. To fighting point, And it is so simple. And you get a Brit walk up to you and he goes, boop, 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 boop. What's wrong with that, mate? But I struggle like the devil with a bivvy, brother.
That's how Austin puts it up, honestly. He goes over there. He goes, boop, 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 boop. What's up?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I can't stand
whatever, bro.
Austin. I generally cannot stand Austin.
But what is, let's get a little bit of a bright side to that. What's, your favorite session? It might not be, the session that you caught the most fish, but was there a session that you were like, I really just liked being out there that time?
I think, well, for me, we get up at the crack of dawn, and for me, it's watching the sunrise.
Yeah.
Amen.
And I
Amen.
I love birds in general, so.
Me too. Yeah, me
And
too.
it's just quiet. It's just that serenity piece to it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, in
agree.
fact, that's one of my favorite parts is, like you say, seeing all the different birds, seeing literally like all the wildlife, seeing little salamanders, the little fish in the edges, swim around, eating the little bugs in the water, just everything feels so peaceful out there. And then you get a run, and then everything goes to chaos.
The fire drill.
I found a video
Yeah.
of me setting up the bivy here. I'm gonna pull it over.
Here we go.
I have a question from the comments. What is your guys' dream trip? Do you have one in mind? Del Hollow. Is there a dream trip that you guys want to do and haven't taken yet?
Yeah, we're gonna do that with USA Carp Guide end of April.
Don't do it, bro. Those guys suck.
Yeah, their captain doesn't know
But-
what he's talking about. I heard
Yeah,
that the
he's
crewmate,
horrible,
though, he's
bro. He
pretty cool.
talks all kinds of mess. He never shuts up, and he's fat, bro. He's super fat. You do not want to mess with that captain. He just all he wants to do is eat.
Well, if
So
I fish him off, he can't in after me. That's all.
yeah. I will say this, Brian. I'm gonna say this to Sue, and she already knows. She knows it better than me. I know a lot of Brian's friends. I know a lot of. I know a lot of people in general, and Brian has done a great job as a human being. He's done a flat ass, wonderful job at being a human being. There isn't one of his friends, acquaintances, fishing buds that doesn't speak highly of Brian. And every one of them say that if they've been on a session with Brian, they've had a great time. I personally look forward for you guys coming down, man, and seeing what we do. I want to learn from you, Brian. I don't care how little experience or how much experience you have. I can learn from anyone. I'm going to learn from Sue. And we're excited about showing you some of the things that we do and the little tips and tricks that we use to entice a bite, you know. So I'm looking forward to it. I know we're going to have a good time. And to answer the question, I don't know who asked the question, but it's Del Hollow, and he will be with us soon. And hopefully we'll put you on that PB, brother. And I hope it's a mirror.
Yeah.
The other one is Blackfoot. You know what I mean? I've heard a lot about it. I haven't really looked into it, but you know, you hear Dale Hollow and Blackfoot. Those are the couple of the big spots, and then there's Pennsylvania. I think it's there's with Saskawani, and then there's a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tell you, if I'm being honest, Michigan is nothing to sneeze at either. Yeah, there's a lot of big fish, and a lot of my friends here from Indiana, because it's such a short trip, go up there to Michigan. I know Dave Ash is up there. He does really well. Excellent human being, excellent carp angler. But don't sleep on Michigan. Michigan's really, really strong, and it doesn't come with all of the entanglements like Blackfoot, bro. Blackfoot is a task. You know, is there good fish in there? Heck, yes. But it's a haul. You know, you're going to go to work, and that's okay. But yeah, you know, we don't notice that work when we're angling. I'm fat and lazy, bro, straight up. But when it comes to angling, I don't notice it, man. I don't notice it, and the next thing you know, we've got everything set up. You know, yeah, I'm breathing a little hard. So what? And yeah, I'm sweating a lot. But I don't notice that type of work when we're angling, you know. But Blackfoot is it's a bear all on its own, I promise. Pennsylvania, we've got you know, Jake Hoy. Who else we have over there? Blake Miller. And they've got some swims. So whenever you go to do Pennsylvania, let me know. I'll hook you up with those fellas. They know what they're doing. Good people, damn good people, man. Jessica Day, you know, she's only like, I think she's only 7 or 8 years old. But she, for her age, she is a pistol. And so they know them areas real well. When you go to talking about that Pennsylvania stuff, let me know and we'll get you to the right people to have a session with. But Sue, this is supposed to be about you. And so we're going to get back to concentrating on you. We want to talk some mess about Brian. We want Brian exposed. Does he come in from a fishing session farting a lot? Or does he come in stinking? Does he come in smelling good? What is the things that bothers you about his carp fishing?
Bothers me?
Yeah. What would you change that you
Nothing.
and you're a little different, Sue, if I'm being honest, because you're a full-fledged carper your damn self.
Yeah.
So it's a little different with you. But if there was one thing you could change about his angling prowess, what would it be?
I don't know. I never thought about it that way. I just because he has so much enjoyment out of it that I can't really like pick it apart.
Wow.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Um,
God bless
yeah,
you.
so I'm a different breed.
Yeah. Well, you're also an angler, and so that, like I said, that changes the dynamics a little bit, and leads us to the next question. What do you enjoy most about it, and what does it do to his spirit on a session?
For me, or for what was the question?
What does it do to
Yeah.
me? Fish fry fishing.
Oh, it levels him out. He's like a different man.
Hey, man, doesn't that do it to us all? Doesn't that do it to us all?
Yeah,
I
I would like.
mean, I really got to when we went to Lady Ginger and we're all just uh getting to know each other, I guess, and just hanging out, having a good time, and I can see what it's all about from his perspective,
Hmm.
being on the boat, and you know, we just had this camaraderie, even with RJ, and you know, just a sense of peace, and it was
Hmm.
fun. We had a really good time.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's that like? Obviously, it probably, how does that strengthen the relationship? And then, I was going to ask, as you hit right on the head, that sense of community with the other anglers. How do you guys, fit in that dynamic together?
We're like a puzzle. We fit in real nicely.
Hmm. And what does carping do for your guys' relationship? When you go out there together, do you see it as, quality time spent together, doing something that you both enjoy, or what's that like?
Well, I almost lost my life. I had a pulmonary embolism.
Wow.
Um, so it means a lot when you are right in the task of dying. So
Yeah.
you kind of like not take things for granted. And when I'm able to go along with Brian, it's something that I both like treasure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure that I'm glad that you're here to be able to talk to us. Very, very glad. Yeah, that's awesome.
We just appreciate things more.
Yeah, I'm sure. And that appreciation, that's kind of, over the course of talking to you, that seems to be, the core of what you appreciate the animals outside, you appreciate the birds, you appreciate the time. Like you said, I can't pick apart his hobby because it's something that he likes so much. It's something that we've never heard on here. That is very, very cool to see. Um, what kind of things has carping brought to your relationship? Has it taught you guys to be more patient with each other? Has it increased trust with each other? Or even independence? Being able to say, "Hey, I'm gonna go out tonight and I'm gonna fish," and you're like, "Okay, that's fine." What kind of things has it brought to the relationship?
I think the trust issue is there. He does have his weekends up in the campsite there. We go every weekend with the boat.
Oh, the Santa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he goes fishing up there, or he gets invited somewhere, it's not a big deal for me.
Yeah.
And plus, he keeps in touch too. I mean, I'm not one that I need to put a tracker underneath his truck.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I'm that guy, Sue. You might go 2 weeks and mom ain't heard from me. That aggravates her a little bit. And it's not that I'm not thinking about her. I'm just so caught up. And it's bad. I've got to get better at that. And I have been trying, but it's wintertime, right? So
Poor Molly.
I'm not
Molly's got
pushing
to
her.
put a tracker in Daniel's bag because we're always just grabbing him and saying, "Hey, we're going."
Yeah, Daniel's liable. No, that's the truth, Austin. We're liable to pick Daniel up and him not come back for 6 weeks. And I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating.
And she says, "Okay, bye, have fun. I love
It's
you."
So we've got to work on that part. Brian, thanks for leading the way. We will try to emulate you. We need to get better at it. I too have been with my wife since middle school. Actually, I think we've been married like I don't know, 34 years, 35 years. I've been with her for like 43 or 44, which tells on my age. But I need to get better at the communication. I need to get better at the. I do have method to my madness, and it's that I savor. It's like saving the best part for last. So when I come home, man, there's this moment, and then it all hits me, and then I get emotional. Yeah, I do. Yeah, my big ass cries, Austin. You can kiss my fat butt. Uh, and so absence makes the heart fonder is very true with me. And so that is my point. It's not necessarily that I want to disrespect her or disengage with her. It's more so that I want to have that distance so that when I do get home and I do get to see her, that it's this grand moment, and we have it often, and I'm not a I'm not a nurturing type of guy. I don't lay in the bed. I can't stand people touching me. I don't do massages. I don't touch me
You
type of guy.
really? That surprises me.
Shut up, Daniel. But when I get home, there is that embrace that lasts forever. It will last forever. And I very much look forward to that. And I very much enjoy that embrace, and so that's my point and reason behind it. Not that it makes it any better for her, but I do have some method to my madness. Daniel, you're getting green sheeted, buddy. You're reprimanded. Austin, I want you to put him down. He's on notice. And
I lost a good noodle point.
so let me
Who do
ask
we
you this,
need?
Brian. What's the longest you've been out in the bush without coming home?
Probably a week.
Yeah, and that's damn long enough.
Yeah.
That's damn long enough to appreciate what I'm saying.
Mhm.
After that week, man, I want to see Mama. Man, you hear me? I love the
Yeah.
boys. I love my rods, but man, I need me some Mama. I do.
Mhm.
Sometimes when you're not catching, you want to chase and go to another spot, so then it turns into a couple more days. Or
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, look who
Or
you're
you see
talking
the
to,
weather
buddy.
come through, and you're like, "Ooh, okay, I gotta prepare for this," and then, "Okay, well, we got a low front coming through, so they're gonna come feed, and okay, let's go. Okay, I'm prepared. Hey, honey, I'm staying for 2 more days because I gotta fresh the front end and the back end of this front." So, it definitely snowballs.
Yeah,
carp
What would
carp
you
fishing has definitely been tough in so
Yeah,
many different ways. This whole area, I don't know about you guys, the last few years, there's been floods. There's been like
yeah.
last May, there was a nor'easter on Thursday right before the Lady Ginger, and it was 40 degrees and cold and snowing
I remember
Thursday.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
Then it's pouring rain and it's dry and hot for like 2 months straight. And
It was fun though, because I was warm and toasty in this thing that Brian had created so I would be comfortable. And I went to go see what the guys were doing, and Brian's in a tarp like a burrito. And
That's
oh
how
my
I
God,
am.
not to laugh at him because it's like below 40 degrees, but I just, the resilience is there, and the creative thought process going on there, because I would have never thought that.
Yeah, that's what I realized about some of these carpers, is, they think outside the box,
they do.
especially the one that I started fishing with that got me into it, Austin Jones. I don't think he is ever inside the box, actually, and that's what I love about him. We have, 2 different ways of thinking, and our 2 ways are like yin and yang. They complement each other very, very well. Um, what would you guys like to say? Oh, sorry. What would you guys like to say to any of the couples out there that are watching this and are like, maybe we should get into carp fishing together? I don't know. What would you say? What are some things that carp fishing has helped your relationship with, trying to get those people to get out there themselves?
I always loved fishing with my wife, and then when I was going away every weekend, you can ask her that I used to, even though she wasn't really into it, I used to ask her, say, "Hey, you want to go fishing?" "No, I'm good. You can go with your buddies." And then, you know what I mean? It would kind of bother me once in a while, and then, but then when she started getting going, um, it's just fun. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Especially,
Amen.
especially if you're catching. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you spend time together outside in the environment, and um,
Also, let's be honest. Let's be honest. We want to showcase our skill set, man.
Yeah.
We want to show Mama, what we do, and because the hunt is real. It's real. Uh, I, for lack of words, I'm going to sound arrogant, but I don't mean to be. But everybody can't do what we're doing, Brian. There's not everybody out there that can catch like we catch, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication. And once you get to the point, that you can you have a catch rate that is up to snuff. You want to showcase it. You want to give it away. You want to share it. You want to, and there's nobody that I want more proud of me than Mama, man. And so I understand your sentiments. I understand what you're saying, and I can see where it bothers a fellow a little bit. My wife isn't as willing as Sue. She will go, and she does enjoy it on her terms. And so I just take what I can get. I'll take what I can get, and I have learned not to be aggravated with that because it's not her thing. And when it is my time to shine, man, I shine. I treat her like a queen. Whatever you want. She don't cook when she's fishing. She don't do crap when she's fishing with me. I do absolutely everything. Unless Daniel's around, then I make him do everything.
What are you talking about?
I love it though.
We got another question from the audience, or what do you call that? Chat?
Chat, yeah.
Yeah. How much do you feed the fish in your pre-baiting rituals, Brian?
Depends. This last year or so, I've been getting into doing a lot of solubles and mixing those with some smaller hook baits and getting away from oatmeal and corn and stuff. I've been trying to do paste on my leads and switching things up and trying something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys talk a lot about it. You hear a lot of people talk about nuisance fish. You get a lot of articles, and then you can, like me and you've talked, Kenny, you can take and do some bait piles and try to get your smaller fish to go to one area and things like that. But this year, I'm going to do the same thing. I think I'm going to get away from a lot of the particles. Maybe I do corn and tiger nuts. I might bring a 5-gallon bucket and throw a bunch of scoops out or something like that. You know what I mean? Then me and you have talked too about bait boats. I might get into that this year. And because I like, when I go up to a spot, I like it to be calm and quiet. I don't, for me, bombs work, but it's loud for me. I don't like making a lot of noise on the water, even though the water might be deeper in that area. But I just particularly like things quiet and
to me, Brian, and I don't mean to contradict you, but to me, I want that noise.
really.
I want the noise from a spot, and that's where this was born. You can put a drone in the air and look down on your swim, and you can start if you spot like every hour. Carrie and I used to have an hourglass where we'd set the hourglass, we'd spot up, and then once that thing hit, we'd spot again. It's basically a dinner bell, brother, for us. And we have noticed that we get reaction, albeit anybody's game because you can see the turtles coming as well when they hear that. The bait boat isn't any different. When Daniel and I get on a regular schedule, and we're very strict about our schedule and the timing of it, they know that bait boat's getting ready to drop bait, brother. I want that noise. I want the sound. Now, I think I would be bothered by music, walking near the edge of the bank, pounding stakes in the ground. I would be bothered by noises that weren't repetitive and timed.
Buddy, I got a story that contradicts that one.
Well, the thing about what you're saying, though, Austin, is you have a story. I have 40 years of what I'm saying, and it's not a story. It's there is, and Luke Nichols from what is his thing? Catfish and Carp.
Yeah, outdoor based catfish and carp.
Yeah, and Outdoor Boys. Him and I had a conversation about this, and he was emphatic about it. He was emphatic about that noise. He was emphatic about that dinner bell. In fact, the guy stuck a damn deer feeder on a tree to prove his point. And every hour, this damn deer feeder would spread. And he even tried to scare fish off, and it would work. He would scare them off, but literally within 5 minutes, they come right back to the same spot. And so we have thought like you're thinking, but I wanted you to know that. I wanted you to hear the experiences that we have, because in my mind, as long as it's repetitive and it has the same results, they're smart, man. They're figuring out that they're getting ready to get fed, and they will literally go straight to that swim. It's one of the reasons why Daniel and I have slowed down bait as opposed to putting in more. We slowed it down and put them in very small increments. But that bait boat is still coming out there. You hear the hum of the boat, you hear it stop, you hear the latch open up, and here comes your food. They're down there waiting on us, bro. They're down there waiting on us. And there are a lot of times we can associate a capture from a bait boat drop, because it's within 10 minutes. It's within 15 minutes of the drop. So they're not, they met us over there, basically. They met us at the trap spot and picked up our trap, so we're in tune with the noise, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Tell your story, Austin. I want to hear it. I'm curious.
It was just the night and the week that we spent out on the island, and then the few days before that where we just partied all day and caught fish all day and didn't sleep for like a week and a half.
Playing drum and bass and everything all night.
Are you talking about?
So we had to just blare drum and bass to keep up with the 12 clients we had.
Are you speaking of Del Hollow?
Yeah.
I think Del Hollow is a completely different animal on this subject, because you're so far away from the bank, man. You're so far away from the action, I'm speaking more if you're fishing margins, don't go walking on your bank, that type of thing. And if you're fishing margins and it's extremely close, 10 or 12 feet, I don't like beating stakes in the ground. I don't like I don't like the radio playing. I don't like, now here's where I'm in tune with you, Brian. I want it quiet and as calm as possible. And even to a whisper, you'll notice my voice come way down, and it's because I subconsciously don't want to make noise, because
one way or the other, like definitively.
It really is. It truly is awesome.
Like stalking koi in a concrete retention pond is one thing where you got to be quiet. Stalking carp wild up the creek, another thing. Got to be super quiet.
Yeah,
Stay low.
excellent point. So awesome. Excellent point. You're right, because I'll stomp straight through a creek. Yeah. I didn't hear you say it again, Austin.
Oh, I was done talking. We agreed.
Oh, but yeah, you're right, Austin. There is a huge difference, and I'll stomp right through a creek and not give a crap. But yeah, if I'm in a concrete koi pond, man, I'm crawling up to this thing. I can't let them hear me or see me or anything of that nature when I'm stalking in that fashion.
I think it depends on the fish. I think every situation's different. I think you're gonna have some sessions where you could literally be throwing bricks in your swim and the fish are still gonna be there. And then I think there's other sessions where you could be as quiet as possible and not move an inch, and you still weren't gonna catch that fish that's sitting there. It just wasn't gonna take your hook bait.
I
I
think
think,
that's a valid point.
everybody, like Austin say, we all have stories of, oh, I was blasting music and I was catching them, or, I was real quiet and that's the only way I was catching them. I think, everything's situational, and that's where a good angler comes in is, he uses all the information that he has and uses it, to that exact situation.
Yeah, I agree. RJ's on here. RJ say Brian Rando. Oh, you know what? I didn't mention Paul Metz. That's another one from Pennsylvania, brother, that we
Yeah,
can hook
yeah,
up.
we're going back and forth with them.
Yeah, Paul's an absolute banger,
Yeah.
bro. He's an absolute beast. And so when you decide to mess around with Pennsylvania, we can certainly get it to
Yeah,
where you can
Paul.
have your biggest advantage. Paul wants to know some of your secrets, Brian.
Secrets?
Yep.
Um, I think it's karma.
Karma?
Yeah.
Helping people, and I think it comes back to you. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Trying not to get involved with
Amen.
the drama and
Yeah.
just
Amen.
helping everybody. Not looking to be the guy. You know what I mean? If I am the guy and it happens that way, that's fine. But I don't need to be that guy all the time. And I've gotten a lot of people some of their first carps, just like people helped me. You know what I mean? And I just
Yeah.
return the favor and
Yeah.
try to,
Yeah.
it's not.
I really appreciate what you're saying right there, Brian. I'm a lot of things, but a liar I'm not. I'm extremely honest. I'm brutally honest. I'm honest to myself. I haven't always been that, Brian. I really haven't. I've always been a kind man. I've always been very generous and whatnot. But when it came to carp fishing, it wasn't until Del Hollow that I realized that there was another way. I didn't necessarily need to be the man to anyone other than me. I really needed to be the man to me. And it's such a pretentious way of being. I later found out that that's not the true joy. And the true joy is in what you just said.
Mhm.
And I have dedicated myself to that because again, I'm being selfish because that's where my most joy is at. It's in the generosity. It's in helping the next angler. And one of the things that is our motto at USA Carp Guide that I preach and preach and preach is that we have no secrets. If you know something, tell something. Period.
Yep.
I don't care what they know. And I even have people call me up sometimes and and say, "Hey man, I can't afford a trip, but will you help me?"
Mhm.
I most certainly will. Here's what we're going to do, and here's your best shot at it. And I get um, equally as much satisfaction out of that as I do a capture. When them guys call you up and say, "Oh my God, Mac, oh my God, you worked like a charm. We caught fish all weekend," and yada, yada, yada. I have matured enough as a person to really appreciate that, man. And so I appreciate your response to that question. I'm with you when you're right, sir.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
I have
greatly.
another question. When is it that you're going to be able to straighten RJ out? When
I have straightened them out actually. Me and RJ,
Jake?
been together, hanging around together for like 3 years now, and it's been he's like a brother to me, man. We just
Well,
call each other almost
yeah,
every
he's
day.
a real good man. He's very generous himself. He's very unselfish, and RJ's been around the block. Yeah, he's seen a lot of things. In the dark and in the light, and so
Yep.
someone that seasoned appreciates camaraderie, man,
Yeah.
and they hold it dear. Jacob is another one. I haven't shaken Jacob's hand yet, but I look forward to it. I hope he makes it to the
Yeah, he's
expo.
gonna be there. Yeah.
Good, good.
A
It's
bunch
a
of us
long time coming.
from the Connecticut Custom Tackle team are gonna be there Saturday. There'll be a whole gang of us, and then they're all talking about they want to go out to eat later on Saturday night too. So, but yep,
Yeah,
gonna be a good time.
I'll be involved with that. I might have a beer or two or 10.
There you
Yeah. 23.
Daniel,
go. Yeah,
yeah,
RJ's been around carp fishing for a long time. If anybody knows the Connecticut River over in his area, he knows it better than anybody. He knows exactly where all the big fish come out of. He knows, what to use in certain areas. He's been making leads for a long time. He's helped me out a lot. And he used to sell bait and stuff, and he's been definitely a big part of helping me get through all the trials and tribulations of making stuff. So it's been a tough time. You know what I mean? It took a long time to get me where I am.
yeah, it does take a while, brother. It takes a while. I mean, all the cool gadgets and whatnot that you see, you just want it right now, but it doesn't work that way, man. It just doesn't work that way.
Nope.
Not only do you have things that you need, but you need to know why. That ever looming question, why, has to be answered, and that takes a minute, man. It does. Anybody go out and catch a carp, man. I'm not acting like I'm special or anything of that nature, but there is a separation. There is a point where the experience will separate itself, from the novice, and it takes a little bit of time, So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, I do want to thank you guys. We are running a little bit over our time, but I always like when our shows run over the time. That means we had a great guest. That means we're having fun.
yeah,
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Sue, for your time, especially like you said on such short notice. If there
Yeah.
is last thing, anybody else that you would like to shout out? Once again, shout out to RJ, Connecticut Custom Tackle. Anybody else that you would like to, give thanks to or anything like that? Please go ahead.
Just basically everybody that's been there for me from day one. Everybody knows who they are. I'm the guy that wants to know everything. I ask tons of questions, and I don't stop until I get the answers that I want. And then if I can't get them on you, I'm going to go to somebody else. And
yeah,
I just want to know the right way to do things too. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I
There's
do
been
have.
a lot of people who helped me on this journey along this way. A lot of phone calls, a lot of sessions, a lot of people that I didn't even know that offered me to come fishing with them, and I didn't even know who they were.
Yeah, I too got that treatment, man. There's just a boatload of people that I could mention: Gilbert Huxley, Rick Slinker, guys that paved the way for me in the wild water, that I owe a lot to. Their experience, what they found out, and cut to the chase. Carrie Wright.
Yep.
I appreciate what you're saying. I do have one more question for you, Brian, and it's a burning curiosity. RJ says that Jacob is 3'11". Is that true?
No, he's taller than that. You'll get to see him this weekend. Jacob's a great guy, man.
Oh, he is, man. We have conversation, him and I. We talk a little bit, and I appreciate his intellect. Jacob's a smart guy. Jacob's a smart man, and I like his demeanor. So I look forward to shaking his hand. I look forward to seeing everybody, seeing RJ again. We leave out. What's today? Tuesday. Hell, we leave out in 24 hours. Actually, we'll be leaving out about this time tomorrow to head that way, and we'll arrive somewhere around 10 to noon Thursday. Go on into the Coliseum and get set up, and we want to be involved in all of those dinners. Saturday night, Friday night. We want to get to know you guys a little better and have some fun together.
Yeah, McDonald's lunch, anything, let us know.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you leading the way to another great podcast, sir.
Thank you, Austin.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You guys as well.
Thank you
You
guys
guys
for your
too.
time.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.
What a great.
Lovely
guys.
couple there. A lovely couple, man. Brian, I've always thought a lot about Brian. Him and I's had some pretty long conversations on the phone, and smart guy too, man. You know, he's
Mhm.
sharp fella. He really is, and passionate. So yeah, I appreciate him. I dropped the ball. It's my fault. I absolutely 100% dropped the ball on this week's podcast, and I reached out to him, and he was good to go. It was unbelievable. I do have next week planned, and the weeks after, so he won't have to do this again. But yeah, he did me a huge favor tonight.
Yeah, it was very cool. I just want to, big thank you to everybody that helps us over here. Thank you to the
Are we
USA
still on?
guy.
They can still hear us?
Yeah.
You guys gotta let me know stuff, man.
Thank you to Bottom Feeder Baits. Thank you, Ben's Tackle Shack. Thank you, West Coast Bait Boats. Who am I forgetting? Thank you, Catch. That's who it was.
Yeah,
Thank you,
try
Catch,
that
guys.
for this.
We got some
West Coast Bait Boats, Bottom Feeder Baits,
Mhm.
Catch. I always forget these guys. Strike Fear.
Yeah, right here.
John Ramo and Mike Tarnacki. Also, Expert busted our head again. Please like and
no.
subscribe because we suck at telling you guys to. If we don't tell you, you're not going to do it. So please like and
We did get
subscribe.
500 subscribers. That was really cool. Thank you guys so much. 500, that's very cool. It's a big stepping stone. I think you guys are going to enjoy what we have coming to the channel. From the expo to this spring to the fall and everything past that. So we got some cool stuff coming for you guys. Thank you for the support. Have a great night.
I know. See you guys.
Hi, I'm Daniel Irish from USA Carp Guide. Do you want to turn a good fishing trip into a great one? Introducing baiting mixes, the smartest way to plan your feed strategy. Browse ready-to-made mixes crafted by expert anglers, or build your own from scratch. Choose ingredients, set quantities, log your results. With real data from your sessions, you'll know exactly what bait to use and when. Smarter prep, bigger catches, fewer blanks. Download the Go Catch Fish app, available in the App Store and Google Play Store today.
And the tide's got 4 or 5 seconds and we're out of time. It only takes 4 or 5 seconds when we're bound to fold. It's sinking or swimming, thinking of you in the afterglow. And the tide's got 4 or 5 seconds and